Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. This week I did quite an exciting find, and that is this old record of Silvio RANIERI. It's not his orchestra playing this time, but himself, accompanied by piano, and he's playing the Swan, the famous piece by Saint-Saens. This was recorded around 1930. So RANIERI was about 48 years old here, and other than being a fantastic historical document, for those of you who play mandolin, this is of course an incredible mandolin lesson as well. You can hear him play tremolo, the complete piece is in tremolo, and you hear the phrasing, you can hear what fingers he's using, the glissandi. You can hear on what string he plays, you can hear the musicality. It's just an incredible experience to imagine this is RANIERI playing mandolin in 1930, so around 90 years ago. Of course he's playing an Hamburger mandolin, I don't think we have any doubt about that, but most probably the instrument he's playing is this one. This is the instrument that he received as a gift from Hamburger in 1915, and this mandolin was made in 1900. It had been Hamburger's instrument up until 1915, and then he gave it to RANIERI. So this is a model number 7. And this has been RANIERI's concert mandolin ever since. So most probably on this record he's playing this same instrument. But I don't want to keep you waiting. Let's first listen to the music. So, what did you think of it? What I find fascinating about this recording is mainly the phrasing and the interpretation of this music. Of course, what we expect from Ranieri is an impeccable tremolo, and that's what we get. You heard an impeccable tremolo, as fluent as you can imagine it. But other than that, what he does with this tremolo, that's actually far more important. The phrasing, the glissandi he makes, and for this kind of romantic music, what we still do today is make these glissandi, but we make them a little faster, maybe because we don't dare to make them so explicitly anymore. And what was apparently done in those days was also the glissandi backwards up from a higher note to a lower note. That is what we hardly ever do today. So that I think is very interesting to hear. And keeping in mind that Saint-Saens passed away in 1921, so this is only 9 years later, so it's almost as if it was contemporary music in those days. So I think this is probably, for the interpretation, quite close to what Saint-Saens had in mind. So I think it would be interesting to have a look at the score, at the music. This is a copy of an old edition. You can find this on the IMSLP website. I'll put a link in the description. And this is a version for violin and piano, because the original is for cello and piano. And what's written here for phrasing and so on is not that much. So what Ranieri does with this is far more than what's indicated in the score. So I think it would be interesting to have a look together, and I will just, as we play the music, put in the glissandi that Ranieri does in the score with a pencil. So let's have a look. So that's quite a few glissandi that Ranieri makes in this music. Much more than we do today, or more than we dare to do today. You may also have noticed that in some places Ranieri tries to slow down and the piano doesn't really follow and has to catch up afterwards, and so that's what happened in these old recordings. Very often it was only 1 or 2, maybe 3 takes, and then just from the beginning to the end, no editing, and they had to choose which one they wanted on the record, and that's it. So let's try to find out exactly what Ranieri does with the fingerings and the glissando and everything. I put an old set of Hamburger strings on his mandolin. Actually, this is the last set of strings that Ranieri played. It was still in good condition, and it's still playable today, although these strings are now more than 70 years old. This is already something we wouldn't do today. So make a glissandi downwards and then right away back upwards. Now for the next phrase, Ranieri plays it completely on the A string up to the high D here, and with this he does exactly as it was intended for the cello, because a cello doesn't have an E string, so they have to play it on the A string. So here. So, of course I don't know the fingerings exactly what he does with the glissando, exactly with which finger, you don't know. But it's very interesting to try this, because this is, when you do it like this is how you have never played it. And this is what you would hardly ever hear today as an interpretation. So is this how you should play it? Of course not. You are free to play it any way you want. But it's interesting to see how it was done in those days, and if there are some glissandi and some things, some phrasing you like, you shouldn't be afraid of using that. So this is how Ranieri played this music, and most probably in those days other people made quite similar interpretations of this music. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope it's been useful to you. And if you have suggestions for other videos, or if you would like to see more similar videos like this, let me know. And I also have a request for people who might be in possession of the mandolins that were once used by other great virtuosos like Raffaele Calace, Nino Catania, Giovanni Gioviale, more recently Giuseppe Anedda, André Saint-Clivier. All those people had great instruments, and it would be really nice to see what they look like today, what they sound like today. So if you happen to be one of the people who has one of these instruments in possession, I suggest that would be a nice idea to make a video about these instruments. So I hope we can see that one day. So thank you for watching for now, and see you in the next video.